Let me quickly rope in Ranjit Mehta, Executive Director of the PhD CCI, joining us on the broadcast. Ranjit ji, your first thoughts. What's your takeaway for the budget, sir?
Thank you, Rishabh. I think this budget, which is vote on account, it's based on the 4 pillars. Why I'm emphasizing on these 4 pillars is they constitute more than 60% of our population, which is poor, farmers, youth, and women. So this budget had now set a vision for these for this Viksit Bharat. They are the pillars for this. This is focusing on this. Number 2, as expected, we were expecting good outlay for the infrastructure sector, which is very important because wherever we go in any country, first you only see the infrastructure. So this government's vision has been to create a resilient infrastructure which is equipped with good supply chain. I think that here more than 11.1% outlay for the infrastructure is really good. Then secondly, I think for the first time, the corpus, which is more than 1 lakh crore for the innovation, research and development, for the startups, for anyone who really wants to take advantage of it. We have a lot of creators in our country, innovators in our country. This is a good sign.
Okay.
Then on housing sector, 2 crore houses in next 5 years is definitely very, very creative and very good for the country, because when housing sector grows with this, more than 265 industries also grow. And tremendous focus for our farmers, because ultimately what we need to do today is we cannot really increase the land bank that we have. What we can do is we can increase the productivity. We can look for the ways where in lesser cost we can have higher productivity, higher produce for our farmers. I think overall, if I look at the budget, it is a very promising budget, which is again setting a vision for developed India by 2047.
Ranjit, let me take some anecdotal dipstick tests, okay? Because how do we figure it out? Okay, the data is telling you we're doing fine. Okay, the fiscal deficit is fine, the inflation is fine, the GDP numbers seem to be looking good, stock markets are doing okay, foreign exchange reserves are doing okay. It seems to be that we're doing okay. But what's your experience, sir? Are you feeling positive about India? Is India doing well? Are we sorted, or is there some troubling winds ahead of us?
You see, Rishabh, I think that these are the moments which are rare in the history. This is a renaissance moment for all of us in the country, because everyone, wherever we go, we see only positive things about India. It reflects the way our country is moving forward. Today, when we go out of the country, then how the Indians are looked at is totally a different feeling. And in any business delegation that we lead out of India, we have seen that how people are really interested in knowing about the India growth story, because after COVID, there has been a tremendous disruption in the supply chain, and how India has really managed to do it, and it remains still the fastest growing economy in the world. So that shows us off, and that shows us all. And if you see the IMF prediction yesterday, I mean, this is all positivity in India for sure.
Okay, are you seeing some thematic change in the structure of our economy in the terms of a country that had a percentage of its population in abject poverty, eliminating that, providing the roti, kapda, makan, bijli, sadak, pani for the first time in saturation, 100%, 100%. Are we seeing a structural change in our economy as we speak, sir?
Definitely. We have heard the Honorable President of India speech in the morning. So more than 25 crore people have really been lifted out of the poverty line. And then if you look at the overall development, overall scenario in our country, I think that we can see in every nook and corner of the country. Wherever you go, you will see that some kind of roads are being built. Even in Delhi, you will see that something new is coming every time. We are thinking of the country has already gone on the moon. There are so many things. Even today, our farmers, deep into the rural area, they can use their mobile phones. They can sell their products. Internationally, there have been many stories which are inspiring in the country.
Okay.
The overall, I think, if you see, there's a buoyancy in the economy.
Okay, so the answer is yes. You see structural change. Okay. Now the finance minister has said, and I'm assuming she's left it to the next government.
Of course.
Okay. She has said that we are ready for the next generation of reforms. Now, what is required, sir? Is it still agriculture? Is it still labor? What is the reform, major reform that is still required?
I think that major reform, definitely agriculture is one of the area where more than 60% of our population is still engaged. So it is very important to look at the agriculture as a major thrust area. Second is social sector. I think health and education are the things which has a power to transform the country to the next level. I think these are the reforms which are required for this. The base has been created, and we are already talking about Make in India. Now, to an extent, Finance Minister has said FDI means first develop India. These are the notions, these are the visions which will create a new India when we are already aiming not for 5 trillion but 7 trillion by 2030 and 5 trillion in next 2 years.
Quick thoughts.
These are happening because of the structural changes.
Okay, quick thoughts going ahead, sir, because we are going to get into election mode now. Okay, and does that necessarily mean? Because obviously the PM is going to have to be campaigning. You'll have the ministers who will be out and campaigning. Does it necessarily mean that for next 2 or 3 months there's a limbo now? We have to now wait until a new government is formed, or do you see continuity in projects over the next 2-3 months?
I think that there is never a lingo in the country or nothing comes to a standstill when the government goes on the election mode, because we have the processes, the mechanism, the systems in place. It is the systems which are running the country today. With the digitization, I think that all these things have been put in place. We have a bureaucracy, very, very active bureaucracy. I think that we do not see any standstill in these 3 months. The vision has already been set. Now it is the question of implementation.
Okay.
Things are being implemented. There are already ongoing projects. Work with go on.
Okay, reasonably positive picture, confident picture. Ranjit Mehta, thank you for joining us once again and putting your thoughts on what has happened. If you were expecting a big bang, well, you got a few. If you were expecting budget sops, didn't really get any. Okay, not even on the taxation. Okay, so for some people who are going to be disappointed with that, we're hoping we can all be a little greedy. That's perfectly fine. But overall, have we delivered for the good of the country is a larger question that we have to address. So now, ladies and gentlemen, what is the themology that is emerging from what has just happened? Here is the bottom line. This was the last big platform for policy statement of intent, which is now concluded. In about a week or two, depending on when the Election Commission comes out, elections are going to be announced. You will probably have them sometime towards end of March, early mid-April. Okay, they'll be done by end of April. Now, the budgetary exercise is not the only exercise. All the schemes have already been announced. You know the 10,000 crore Andaman Island scheme, the 1,000 crore Lakshadweep Island scheme, the 24,000 crore tribal scheme, this 1 crore solar panels on houses scheme, which was announced 10 days ago. So these schemes already get announced. Okay, the budgetary exercise, of course, crosses the T's and dots the I's, which is important. So in this context of things, what's the themology? The themology is this has not really been an election-oriented budget. It's been slightly more forward-looking, which is a good thing to happen. Okay. The broader themology is, and it's an ideological themology now, which has been stated by the Prime Minister earlier in Parliament and now by the Finance Minister in her budget speech, that inclusive delivery is the new secularism. As an ideological premise, inclusive delivery as the new secularism. These are all important takeaways worth putting together.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.